everyone, welcome back to my Sling TSi build log. And it's been quite some time since my last update. Lots of things going on. I thought today I'd just do a quick walkthrough of the projects I've been working on in the last couple of months. I'm sure lots of things going to be missing, so I'm just going to call out a few big parts. So since I moved to the hangar about 2 months ago, I definitely experienced a slowdown on the work progress since I only get to come out to the hangar space once a week at best, sometimes only one day over a couple of weeks. So I've been trying to maximize my usage of time during the hangar stays. So been trying to pick out the big components. So I really wanted to get the avionics complete. So let's maybe start from here. So I think the rack on the avionics was mostly already there before I moved into the hangar. I'm not quite happy about the routing of the wire, the harness in the center channel, because there's just a whole lot of things going on here. So I put on the brake lines, the fuel lines. So you can see here is hanging out near the fuel selector area. I don't know exactly where they are yet, but I think this the hose ends are in the general vicinity. So I'm just gonna take that as my sort of a positioning for the fuel lines. So besides the fuel lines, there's like dozens of wires going through the channel. Also have coax and pneumatic lines for the statics and pitot stuff. So definitely a lot of things going on. And besides, I'm still missing the cabin heat, the scat tubing or scat ducts that I need to run through. So this area is extremely crowded, and I just don't see a good way of making them clean like other builders done. I feel like at some point the harness and the Teflon wire has to cross, because the wire goes straight through the channel, and the fuel lines has to bend up. So at some point I feel like they have to cross. So my plan is to get them stay away from each other as far as possible. Maybe I'll do some anti-chafing wrapping around the wire, or maybe around the fuel lines. I don't know, TBD, whichever is easier. But so that's the harness section. And then going up, there's a bundle of wire. So I'm gonna probably put on the actual panel. Then I will try to connect these wires. I think as I connect the panel wires, I will slowly lose access to the internal wires, so they will be a little bit messy, I guess. But I also don't see a good way around it. But I think the Midwest panel builder has done a great job providing tie down and anchoring positions for the wire that I do have control over. So these wires are extremely secure on the rack. It's only like these wires are probably gonna be like hanging in the middle of air, essentially. So there's that. Then moving on to the front section, I also did the cabin heater setup. So when I received my kit, I think it was in the transition between the electronic cabin heater versus the shroud-based, exhaust shroud-based cabin heater. So I actually got parts, like only partial parts for each configuration. So I ordered the missing parts to complete the electrical version of the cabin heater, and sort of set it up in the on the fuselage. So I think I have everything connected except for the sort of the wire connecting the vent opening for the heater. So once I connect this wire here towards the panel, I will be able to close the top section then I'll put on the leather dashboard, then the panel. I will be able to close the entire front section. All right, so looking over at this area, I guess the only thing I made some progress on was the brake lines. These are I did the upgrade. So instead of the rubber or plastic lines came from the Sling kit, I changed to the sort of the flexible Teflon wires, Teflon lines for the brake lines. Then moving further back, yeah, so the horizontal stabilizer. So this thing was easy. So I just one day I was pretty frustrated about the harness and routing stuff. So I just thought I might take on something easier. So I just did the horizontal stabilizer. So not much to talk about here. It's just a few AN3 bolts. Just connect them and torque to the spec, and that's pretty much it. Then I think I'm also ready to connect the elevator. So based on other builders' information, the access to this AN3 bolts is a little bit tricky. But I 3D printed some AN washer holder thingy. So hopefully that process won't be as bad. So yeah, and another thing is I also finally got to connect all the coax cables to the antennas. So that was really not difficult, but I've never done coax cable crimping before, so that was a little bit nerve-wracking. I bought a few extra connectors just for practice, and then once I got a hang on, once I was able to, gain some confidence using the spare wires and spare connectors, I moved on to the real thing, and turned out it was not too difficult. So that's pretty much about the whole, progress so far for the last 2 months. Oh, another thing I wanted to call out was I ran into some hiccup for my audio jack. So what happened is I was doing a ground loop testing for the audio jack. So essentially there's not supposed to be a ground between the jack shell and the airframe before you connect the other end to the avionics. But when I was doing it, I got some inconsistent results. So basically, I think a few of the jacks was somehow grounded to the airframe and a few of them are not. So I had a sort of discussion and email exchange with the Midwest panel builders who helped me debug the issue. And then turned out there were a few wires that were misconnected or connected incorrectly. So I had to get a sort of a ping extractor for the Garmin connectors, and I just swapped out a few pings. Then everything was good. So that slowed me down for about a month. But now it's solved. Then moving on off to the wing section. So I also spent some time to do the boost pump onto both wings. So now you see I actually do not have the boost pump on the wing. I actually previously installed it already and tested that nothing's leaking, everything was good. But recently there was a sort of a recall / service bulletin email from the Aerospace Innovation, which is the provider of the boost pump system. And they noticed there is an issue with the check valve on the boost pump. So I just removed the boost pump. It was supposed to be here. So I just removed the boost pump and I'm ready to send it back for a repair with the Aerospace Innovation company. So hopefully that will be taken care of by the providers, and I'll install them back on. So I think, yeah, that's kind of pretty much it on the progress so far. My engine is on the way, my propeller and the firewall forward kits all of them are on the way. So hopefully I will be able to get them within a month or so, by which time I will be able to install the batteries and all these things hanging on the firewall and make more progress from on the front section of the airplane. And what I'm hoping is in the next month or so, I want to fully finish the harness routing and fuel lines, and I want to be able to actually close the dashboard and close the panel and see the first power on once I get the battery, obviously. So ambitious goals. We'll see if I can do that with 1 day of work each week or less. So that's it for this update. Have a good day, everyone.